Welcome, traveler. This is Earth. Inside the vast universe, it looks so small, yet it's so rich, so full of life. From icy cold tundras with temperatures far below zero to scorching hot deserts where the temperatures go sky high, there is no shortage of unique areas here, with each one having its own distinct climate, ecosystem, and environmental structure. Huge tropical rainforests and jungles that reach far beyond what your eyes can see. Enormous mountains and volcanoes that can reach unprecedented heights. Beautiful, vast oceans with clear, shiny waters that sparkle brightly under the rays of the sun. Large, extensive, and seemingly endless valleys full of trees, flowers, and areas filled to the brim with green, tall grass that moves gracefully when the wind touches it. Huge rivers with each one having its own unique ecosystem, size, flow rate, and speed. Beautiful lakes of all sizes with their own clear and shiny waters. Dark caves that can reach deep underground, deep into massive interconnected tunnel systems that spread across all sides and directions like giant natural labyrinths, mazes hidden deep into the ground, away from the outside world of this planet. And even powerful and rapid waterfalls with currents that have incredible speed and force. All of these areas, despite being so different from one another, they have something in common. A unique, mystical energy with powers far beyond our wildest imaginations. Powers that can defy space and time. No one knows how it was created or where it originated from. But one thing is for sure, this special kind of energy dates back billions and billions of years ago, all the way back, right at the birth of the entire universe. When space and time became one, more than 13 billion years ago, both energy and matter sprouted from them in many different and mysterious ways. Planets, stars, galaxies, and even black holes are just some of the many, many products that first came to be because of these special connections and reactions. But what is it that started everything? What caused this connection of space and time to happen in the first place? These are questions that still baffle us to this day. There's a theory, though, that is widely accepted around the world, the Big Bang Theory. This theory states that space and time emerged together 13.787 plus minus 0.020 billion years ago, and that the universe has been expanding ever since. And going further, it describes how the whole universe expanded from an initial state of high density and temperature. Detailed measurements of the expansion rate of the universe show that it is an increasingly concentrated cosmos preceded by a singularity in which space and time lose their meaning. That singularity is called the Big Bang Singularity, and it's placed at around 13.8 billion years ago, which is thus considered the age of the universe. That is a really important discovery, as it shows us that the universe isn't eternal, it has a finite age. That the universe, our whole universe, has not always existed, at least not in the way that we know it today. But even so, ever since it was first born, it has continuously kept on expanding itself and increasing in size, taking more and more space in the process. And it doesn't seem that expansion is going to stop. Not in any time soon. Even right now, as we speak, new galaxies keep getting formed, left and right. With them, new planets and their satellites follow suit. And after that comes everything else. In every single moment that goes by, something new is being born. Areas with dark matter where seemingly nothing was there before are getting filled with all new and powerful bursts of energy and matter. New life. Just like our own, very own galaxy. Called by many the Milky Way galaxy, as it looks like a huge swirl of light in the night sky formed by the billions of stars that it has, all rotating in a circular, disc-like manner. The term Milky Way is a translation of the Latin phrase Via Lactea, which comes from the Greek phrase galaktikos kyklos, meaning milky circle. This huge spiral galaxy seems to contain 100 to 400 billion stars, and at least that number of planets. Also, it is said that the oldest stars in the Milky Way are nearly as old as the universe itself, and thus probably formed shortly after the dark ages of the Big Bang, which is placed at approximately 370,000 years after the Big Bang itself occurred. And eventually, after the creation of all these stars, planets, and black holes, our very own solar system was born at approximately 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of a giant interstellar molecular cloud. The vast majority of the system's mass is in the Sun, a gigantic star located right at the center of it. The Sun is a nearly perfect ball of hot plasma heated to incandescence by nuclear fusion reactors in its core and radiating its massively powerful energy, mainly as visible light, ultraviolet light, and infrared radiation. The Sun is by far the most important source of energy for life in our very own planet, Earth. And that energy affects not just us, but the whole system in general. Besides Earth, there are 7 more known planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They all might seem to be really apart from one another, but instead they are connected to each other through special chain links. Links that can neither be tangible nor be seen with the naked eye. And through those links travels that powerful, mystical energy, giving its power to them all, one by one, all the way through an endless maze of corridors and roads that lead to every point, every size, every corner of the universe. Naturally, one of these points is our very own planet, Earth. What a wonderful planet it is, still to this day. It's considered to be the only astronomical object, the only world where life thrives at. Granted that that's mainly because of the many huge quantities of water that the planet has, but still, other large volumes of water can be found all throughout the solar system, but only Earth sustains liquid surface water. That's a feat in and of itself. And Earth, being the 3rd planet from the Sun, gets to enjoy every single one of its benefits. In fact, the Sun's rays are the main source of visible light, ultraviolet light, and infrared radiation for our beloved planet. That's why the sun is by far the most important source of energy for life on our world. This vast, wonderful world. A world full of energy. A world full of life. In the air, in the water, on the mountains, deep inside the forests, all across the vast and hot deserts, and even in the ice-cold tundras and their giant icebergs. This powerful, mystical energy is located everywhere, all across the whole world. And that includes all of the living organisms that thrive on our planet. Plants, like flowers and trees, provide oxygen to Earth and are the basis of most of its ecosystems. From forests to seemingly endless valleys, jungles, swamps, marshlands, in the hot deserts, the cold tundras, all across the mountains, and even deep inside the oceans, all across the beautiful lakes, and right into the rivers with their strong and rapid waterfalls. Plants are just everywhere on our planet. And besides their pure oxygen, they can also produce grain, fruits, and vegetables with all kinds of unique and beautiful texture and taste, and in many varieties and types that can differ from area to area. For example, green plants obtain most of their energy from sunlight via photosynthesis, a process that they use to convert light energy into chemical energy that, through cellular respiration, can later be released to fuel their individual organisms' activities. In fact, photosynthesis is also largely responsible for producing and maintaining the oxygen content of the Earth's atmosphere, and generally it supplies most of the energy that's necessary for life on Earth. So you see, that's why plants and trees are so important for our planet. They are essential for life itself. Without them, our planet wouldn't have nearly as much life as it has with them. And who knows, maybe if plants never existed, our planet would have been devoid of any kinds of life, any types of living organisms. But thankfully for us and our planet, not only they exist in it and have been living here for centuries, even millions of years, but they continue to thrive in it, even today, at recent times. In fact, there are about 320,000 known species of plants in total, most of them, close to 260 to 290,000, produce their own seeds. Other plants, the ones that produce grain, fruit, and vegetables, form basic human foods, our food. That's why these have been domesticated for millennia by us. And to top it all off, plants can also have many cultural and other uses, such as ornaments, building materials, writing material, and in great variety, they have been the source of medicines and psychoactive drugs. Fascinating, isn't it? Plants are only the beginning, the very first, the primal forms of life on our planet. Right after them came the animals, living, breathing organisms that as soon as they were born on our planet, they began breathing the oxygen in its atmosphere so that they could live. And not only that, but they also started consuming all kinds of organic material from wherever they could find it. This task was made really easy for them, as they were the very first life form on Earth that had the ability to move around freely. In the endless skies, deep in the oceans, across deserts and forests, and even in the icy frozen Arctics. Until today, over 1.5 million living animal species have been described, of which around 1 million are insects. Generally, it has been estimated that there are over 7 million animal species that exist and live on our planet. They range in length from 8.5 micrometers to 33.6 meters. All animals have complex interactions with each other and their environment, forming intricate food webs. But what's really fascinating is that a total of 6,331 group of genes common to all living animals have been identified by us. These may have arisen from a single common ancestor that lived 650 million years ago. Could that really be true? If it is, it means that all animals have one common ancestor that appeared on our planet 650 million years ago. But for now, that's just speculation. Nevertheless, it makes you think though, what if? What did that first ever ancestor to animals look like? What did it eat? How did it live? And how did it survive alone in the wilderness of our planet back then? Sadly, we don't have enough evidence to provide the answers to these questions just yet. But who knows? Maybe one day we will, after we have done enough research on the matter. Sure, we might not know much about the animals that came to be on our planet, but we sure as heck make good use of them every day. In fact, we use them in many different ways. Firstly, we use them to get some of our most essential food, such as milk, meat, and eggs. Moreover, we use them for materials, such as leather and wool. In addition to those, we also take some of these animals to our homes, feed them, and care for them, making them our very own personal pets. That's also how not only we form some really deep and powerful bonds with them, but we also develop strong feelings for them. Sometimes, we even use them as working animals, even for means of transport, like horses and elephants. Dogs, who are considered to be our very own best friends, have been used in hunting, as have birds of prey, while many terrestrial and aquatic animals were hunted for sports, like foxes and deers. Non-human animals have appeared in art from the earliest times and are prominently featured in mythology and religion or across the world. All animals truly have a very important role to play in the survival and well-being of our planet. They have been here since ancient times, and they are here to stay. Live freely and coexist with nature and us, humans. Are the third and final form of life on Earth, the most advanced and complex life form of them all. However, we did not begin like that at all. The very first people that stepped foot on Earth couldn't even walk on their two legs. Instead, they would just move from area to area using all four of their limbs. And at first, their only goal was to survive through the wilderness of our planet. Back then, there were no cities, no villages, no signs of civilization at all. There was just nature everywhere. Enormous forests and jungles filled to the brim with giant, strong trees and plants of all kinds. Scorching hot deserts and volcanoes with extensive temperatures and destructive lava flows that could destroy everything that would dare to stand on their way. Vast, deep oceans that house some of the most vicious and terrifying creatures that our planet has ever seen. Ice-cold mountains and tundras with really harsh climates and temperatures far below zero that could easily freeze everyone or everything that would dare come close enough to them. So, taking into account all of these harsh conditions that our planet was fully infested by back then, our ancestors did not have it easy, right from the start. But that didn't matter to them. They had to survive in this completely new world that they were born into. They had to live, and so they did just that. From eating whatever they could get their hands on, to staying at safe area spots like caves and such, in order to survive their nights or protect themselves from harsh climates like intense heat or cold, or just hide from wild and vicious animals like tigers and bears. But not everyone was lucky enough to survive throughout all these really harsh conditions. Sadly, many of our ancestors did not make it through. Some of them succumbed to the harsh weather conditions, and others got viciously attacked and eaten alive by wild animals while they were at their most vulnerable states. But despite all that loss, despite all that mayhem, the rest of our ancestors kept going on and on. They never gave up, not even for a second. They knew what they were up against. They knew what they were facing, but they were strong, determined to survive, determined to live. Judging by today's standards, we have not only achieved these two primary goals, but many, many more. Not only we are the most abundant and widespread species of them all, but also our large complex brains, developed through years and years of our lives, have enabled us to develop lots of different types of culture, advanced tools that benefit us every day, and many different forms of language, a unique way for us to communicate with each other. Moreover, we are highly social, and we tend to live in complex social structures comprised of many cooperating and competing groups, from families and kinship networks to political states. Social interactions between us all have established a wide variety of values, social norms, and rituals which bolster our entire human society. And to top it all off, our curiosity and the desire to understand and influence the environment of our planet, and to explain and manipulate all kinds of phenomena that occur around us, have motivated several different fields of study for us, like the developments of science, philosophy, mythology, religion, and so many others. Lots of incredible and fascinating stories have been passed down through numerous different civilizations and human nations worldwide, all throughout the course of our time here on Earth. Amazing myths and legends have continuously been created and moved through generations, countless different families and tribes, everywhere, all across the whole world, ever since the beginning of history itself. Incredible and unique civilizations like the ancient Mayas, Incas, Chinese, ancient Egyptians, Japanese, ancient Greeks, and many others were so advanced back then, way ahead of their time. All of them were so different from one another, but yet they all shared one common thing. They all had these wonderful, almost mystical pieces of knowledge, carefully hidden away like precious treasures. So, right here at Jax Files, We will discover them all, one by one. We will find the maps that will lead us straight to them. We will follow their instructions very carefully, and when we reach these treasures, we'll uncover their mysteries and their secrets. And of course, we will organize them into many different categories, folders and files, creating our very own virtual library in the process. So, as you can imagine, we have lots of work to do, so many different paths and routes to follow, so many unique and incredible places and areas to see. Lots and lots of different adventures await us in this amazing and wonderful world of ours. I am Jax, and I will be your guide throughout all these journeys that we'll be having everywhere on Earth, and I mean everywhere. And if you decide to tag along, there's one thing that you should know. In here, fun is at a maximum level. If you're okay with that, if you think you can take it that is, then great. Welcome to our team. I really hope that you'll have a great time here with us. And psst, as you are new here, you should subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything. Trust me, you will not want to be late on one of our trips, or worse, miss it altogether. Oh, I can't even imagine that. You might also want to hit that bell icon so that doesn't ever happen. So, what are you waiting for? From this moment on, our library, the master library of knowledge, is open to you. Get in there and open as many files as you want. Read as many books and magazines as you desire. Reveal all of the library's secrets, contents, and unveil all of its secrets and mysteries. But beware, when you open a file or a book, you not only reveal its secret information and knowledge, you also get sucked in its world. And each one of them has a unique and magical world, ready for you to explore it as you please. Each world is with its own unique traits, facts, stories, legends, mysteries, and the list goes on and on and on. A unique and mystical adventure awaits you in each one of these books and files. So, gather the important supplies that you need to have with you while you're out there in the wilderness of this beautiful and magnificent worlds and lands. As, trust me, you will need them. And get ready! Your very first journey into the unknown is about to begin in preparing for liftoff. 2. Disengaging from ground base. 1. Activating rocket thrusters. 0. Ignition. Go! Initiate liftoff. Blasting off. Now!